What's up, guys? Welcome to today's video. Well, what we're going to do today is we're going to get this knucklehead to give you a walkthrough of this thing right here. There's a lot of commentary about his boat when we do post about it, and so we figured let's do a full walkthrough and give everybody an in-depth look at how he's rigged his kayak, or as a lot of you have been saying, over-rigged his kayak. All right, one more thing before we jump into this that I got to say is this knucklehead has actually been fishing with me in a kayak since he was 2 years old, maybe even a little smaller. And then he got his own kayak around 4. So even though he's only 24 years old, the dude's got over 20 years of kayak fishing experience. He takes a little bit different approach than I do. So there's a lot of things he does to his kayak that I don't do because I really am more of a shallow water sight fishing specialist. He's really focused on becoming a better offshore angler. So we're gonna get into it, and this is gonna give you guys a lot of different options on how you can rig your Bonafide PWR 129. All right, so let's slide out here and introduce yourself, young man.
Austin Hoover, son of Chad Hoover.
All right, so what we're gonna do is I'm actually just gonna follow along. We're gonna go bow to stern. And what I want you to do is talk about how you rigged your kayak, what you have on it, but don't really get into all the little tiny details. Okay. We'll do individual videos about like how your raising and lowering system works, how the wiring for the grass work, how pretty much the wiring under the seat works. I just want this to be kind of like an overview to give folks ideas about rigging their boat, and we'll come back and do full walkthroughs of how all the stuff actually works. Yeah, where we can get a closer look and take it apart. So,
all right,
take it away.
The biggest difference between Chad and I is motors. I'm a bow mount guy, so we got the XI3. XI3 is mounted to the Catch PWR 129 plate. There's actually, this is on a quick release plate. This thing is real nice for when it comes to just taking it off and putting in your truck. It's quick, easy, but still secure. One thing I love about this plate is not only does it use the inserts like that come stock, but underneath this motor about midship, I'll show a little B-roll clip of it. There's two through bolts with like a backing plate, so it just adds that extra security and extra reinforcement, so you don't have to worry about those inserts popping out. But to power the XI3, we got a Marinco 70 plug. These are the best we have found so far for lining up. You just use 2 prongs and you just got to match them up throughout the boat. But also on this Marinco is a new product from Catch. It's a gasket that fits this Marinco. A lot of people don't realize that, come up here to me, a lot of people don't realize is these plates, they kind of have some curvature to them, and the regular plate on the Marinco is kind of stiff, it's straight. So this gasket allows it to kind of really get to the contour of the plate to get a extra seal and just be sure you're not getting any water in here. If you're a bow mount, you're obviously probably going offshore or you're in rougher water, so you're going to be taking water over here, over the bow, and you just don't want any water getting in your boat. Those gaskets really help with that. All right, real quick before you go any further, I did see a post online about how this Marinco plug won't fit the power link plates from Bonafides. So the beautiful thing about plastic is it flexes. So I know it's got that big oversized washer on the back that you use to pull everything together. That will fit in there. I made no modifications. You just kind of got to wiggle it back and forth. I kind of did a thing to where you put the washer, you put it under the lip on one side, and then you push and then drop it in, and it goes in and out, no problem. It's
right,
just,
so we'll do a little side video.
We'll do a little side video on that. But moving on back, we got 0.1, just so our graphs ain't spinning. But oh yeah, can't forget about this thing. This thing right here is a Rogue ADS strap. It is a must-have in my opinion for loading, unloading, and then the beautiful thing is if you've got multiple boats or you just break your boat down for creeks and everything, this thing makes it amazing for dragging through woods and just loading up. So love this thing. But let's open this hatch up, and this is where I put all the electronics, and I got 2 little miscellaneous bags for tackle, more of those hard clamshells that are a little bit bigger. Most of my soft plastics I've moved to this. I have moved to these track packs. As we go through the boat, you'll see I got 2 more in the back. I'm just really in love with those things. They hold soft plastic bags perfectly. They actually come with some little dividers, or they sell like little dividers you can put in them. And if you want to take your plastics out of the bag and just throw it in your track pack, some people do that, like the guy behind the camera. But we'll set these right here real quick. So we got these two bulkheads right here. These are from, is it One Objective?
Yeah.
Okay, so we got One Objective plates right here. Got my NEMA mounted on the front. It just made it a lot easier to get my navigation lights in here. And then my .1, you know, through the thing. We're powering everything like these little USBs. Like I've got my graphs and then miscellaneous USBs for cameras and charging phones or whatever it may be, all off of this Yak Power relay. So I got everything right here nice and neat, tucked up inside the, so this has got like a little lip to it, so you can kind of tuck your wires up, and you know, there's so much wire in here and behind this that you can't even see just because of how this lays out. It makes it clean and simple to get to all your fuses if you need to. Love that.
All right, so talk about the wiring. That wiring system right there.
This wiring system is a new one from Kayak. I can't remember exactly what link this is. I'll find it up and put it on the screen, but they provide everything you need. It's quick, easy, simple, clean, has everything you need that you just, it's a one-stop shop. The big thing with like rigging motors out is you got to go to 10 different places and get 10 different things, but Kayak has really made it easy just to like one-stop shop, get everything you need, and then it's, you know, it just makes life easy. So, but we'll close this hatch. One thing I love that Hans did on this boat is he provided these little grooves right here that for your wires and your cables that come through your boat. It just,
well, those are actually for water to drain, but they
water,
just double, they double as really good
double purpose. That's what I use
wiring channels.
Wiring channels, but I use one, you know, for my .1 right here, and then I got one for my Ethernet. My Ethernet cable for the cheat stick actually runs through the boat and then comes out right here. So these little Yak Attack pass-throughs make it nice and easy and clean and, you know, water resistant, I would say. I wouldn't call it completely waterproof, but yeah, love that. All right, now we're gonna get into probably the most controversial part of my boat, or most talked about, is my electronics. I've been running two Lowrance HDS 10 Pros. Recently just upgraded these. I just wanted a bigger screen, and when they released that active imaging HD transducer, I was just like, man, that's beautiful. And
all right, so since you mentioned it,
this, yeah.
since you mentioned it, let's go ahead and address the elephant in the room.
Okay.
For the people that say this is too much. So what do you say to the folks that say this is too much? Man, that's more expensive than the Kayak, blah, blah, blah. What do you say?
I will agree with some people, and by no means am I saying that you have to have this rig to go catch fish. Actually, what's pretty funny is last month, the guy who won Alabama, which has got some of the biggest hammers in the league, he won fishing out of a kayak with only 2 rods and a cheap pedal drive. So you don't have to have all this to go fishing, but this is all I do, man. This is, I don't go out and party. I'm single, don't have any kids. So all that money that most people have to spend, or they go and spend eating out, I spend it in combos. And you know, there's a lot of months where I go, you know what, can I eat ramen for a month and then get a new setup, a new higher end setup? And that's what I do. So like,
all right, back to it.
Yeah.
Back to it.
So where were we at?
Actually, one more thing before we jump into it. We did the video where we were still trying to figure everything out with the Bonafide, and you were standing up, and we had the graphs mounted on the pod, and it was shaking all over the place. So talk about how you solved that.
Bonafide's got the captain's bridge. This is the best, what do you call this? Crossbar, the best crossbar on the market that I have found yet. I actually have my rod stager mounted to this, and with the PWR right here on this front, the cockpit kind of tapers down. So we'll get into these rod stagers in a little bit, but Yak Attack makes 3 versions, so it makes it nice and easy to where, depending on your boat and your style of fishing, because you can actually set these up and still paddle. You don't have to have a motor with the rod stagers. You can set them up just to where they're out of your paddle stroke, but beautiful thing is Yak Attack, like I said, makes 3 options for those, so you can fit it to your boat. But,
I mean, since we're here, let's.
But
you want to finish? Okay,
yeah,
cool.
let's go to the captain's bridge. So I got the captain's bridge, which is 2 graphs. Where everything we're mounting the graphs with is the Yak Attack graphs mount. And since I film all my stuff to prove that I actually did lose that 10-pounder, I got an extra little camera pole right here with a little 8-inch extension in it. I think this is the Pamford's
All right,
portrait.
give yourself a little credit. You also caught a 10-pounder.
Caught a 10-pounder this year.
So let's cut to that right now in the
show
video.
y'all.
He hasn't even released the dang video yet, and dude caught a 10-pounder, 10.3 pounds.
So new PB for this year.
Just cut to that in the video right now.
Copy
All right, in the double-digit club.
Oh, buddy. Caitlin. My phone ain't even. I wasn't even recording. Jab.
Sideways or vertical?
Oh. Dude, this is a Oh, don't straighten out. No, 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 no. Ah, which way you want to go? Oh my God. Oh my God. Dude, this is a PB, no doubt. You have got to be kidding me.
What happened?
There's no doubt. This fish may be over 10 pounds.
Come on. What did you just say again?
I could be exaggerating.
Is it going to have net shrinkage?
You...
Hold on. Get it closer before you pull it out.
Oh my gosh.
God dang.
God. There's no doubt.
Dude, that's a big fish.
There,
Boat.
there's no doubt this is a PB.
Bro,
Dude.
look at that freaking thing. Holy crap. Nice. I thought you hooked a damn carp or something. You were pulling, it was pulling you around so much over there.
I didn't have the
Do you
back.
think that was a bass that was pulling him around like that?
Well, I saw it jumping over there, and I was like, "Oh no, this is big."
Holy crap, bro! Hold on, let me get up next to you and let's get this scale reading on the vidya. Look at that, thank you, bro. Thank you, bro. Move your net real quick. God, look at the gut on that thing. Holy crap, dude. Man, look at that cankle tail.
Double digits.
Get out of here.
Yes.
Get out of here. Let's get the net out of the way for me. Say that was double digits.
10.5.
Look at that thing. Hold on. All right, let's take a look at that thing, buddy. God dang. Put your hand around that tail. Just to, no, grab her. Yeah, look at that. Can't even close his hand around the tail. Golly, son. Dude. That is a beast.
Dude, look at that back. She's about to go. You ready? Back to me.
All right, so before you go too much further, let's talk about the old side stage right here.
Man, listen, when they first released that, I'll fall on the sword and I'll be like, man, those are kind of stupid. Who's going to use those? Me. Guess what? I will not, and yes, I'm making this statement, I will not go fishing without those things unless I have to. Unless the type of fishing doesn't allow it, but for the most part, I'm going with those to the water. Really love these. Not only do they hold rods, they can hold your paddle. You just kind of, it all fits into these one things. And what I really love about this one, they make a version that doesn't have the locking. I wouldn't recommend them, honestly, but these little levers fold over, so they're not going nowhere, and it's actually on the front too. So like if you leave it on, like you can leave these rods in when you're going up and down the boat ramp, because, and I would lock them in, you know, some boat ramps aren't even, they bounce a little bit, you're not going to throw your rods out. I mean, these things are sturdy, but love those things.
And realistically, you could flip them around to where the tips are facing backwards
backways.
if you're going through lily pads and brush and flooded timber and stuff like that.
Exactly. So since we are kayak fishermen living in a bass boat world, I want to show you all this, and don't mind the 2x4 I got in here. We're doing a little bit of R&D from the folks at Catch, coming up with we're trying to find that right distance that we need for your side scan and everything to work. But like I said, since we are kayak fishermen in a bass boat world, got a little extra couple baits in there. I put all my extra wiring in my pod, just use kind of 2 Yak Attack pass-throughs, went in and out. Really love that, makes it clean and simple. And then since this pod has a nice little divot right here.
Now, do you recommend a specific species of wood for this? Is it like cherry or maple?
You know, I put some scent out in the water. Yeah. So, but yeah, that's that. So love the pod. Throw these baits back up in here. What do we want to get into next?
Actually, before, I'm not going to let you off the hook, because not only did you kind of think these were stupid when they first came out, what did you also think about the track
I thought these, I was like, man, I'm not really, who's going to use those? I got tackle boxes, so, you know, I'll try everything. Well, not everything, but y'all know what I mean. I'll give everything a shot. So, but yeah, really love these things. Holds all the soft plastics you need. They're stackable. I mean, if you haven't heard about these, I'm pretty sure you're living under a rock by now. So,
all right, listen. I'm gonna be honest with y'all. When they first came out, the track packs, I was like, dude, put these on your boat and give them a try. He's like, I'm not trying those things. They sat around the shop for like a week and a half. I finally had to say, take these track packs, put them on your boat and at least try them and let me know what you think. Because I'm gonna let y'all in on a little secret. I didn't really think that I was gonna like them either until I actually tried them. So if you think that about certain things, I'm gonna be honest with you. I was in the same boat. I thought the side stage was kind of dumb. I thought the track packs were a little bit dumb. I'm like, I already got, anyway, love them. Don't go fishing without them. I'm not as big a fan of the side stage yet because I do a lot more shallow fishing, getting into grass, dragging my boat through the woods, but I am gonna be getting a lot more into the offshore fishing this fall. I'm gonna get sandwiched between that knucklehead and Gene, and I'm gonna step up my offshore game. So anyway, back to the boat. Sorry about that, guys.
All right, so moving next, on the seat, we got 2 kayak cushions. It helps prolong the day. Love these things. But
so yet again, why not 1 kayak cushion?
I just like that. I really feel like I'm in a lazy boy with this. The Bonafide, or the PWR 129 seat is comfortable as it comes from the factory, but if you just want to take it to that next level, I mean, these things really do it. These are both the Big Bertha. I just want the extra cushion. It's sometimes, most people are only going out for 4 to 8 hours. Sometimes we have to go out for 12 to 14. So I really can go out for 12 to 14 hours and really be like, I didn't even feel it. I can still go all day. But I'm rambling, so let's move on back. Behind the seat, we got a sideline. Absolutely love this thing. It just helps you manage some stuff. We just got a bunch of extra line and extra scent, and what else is in here. We got a scale, got some fishing gloves for when it gets hot so I'm not burning my hands up. We got some thump gels, some pliers. Really love this thing. It's pretty cool.
Does that stuff really work?
I think it does. It gives me a little bit extra confidence. And what I really like about it is it's, guys got Bible verses and stuff on it. So I thought that was pretty cool especially in our industry. So yeah, but that's about what I carry in it. In this little pocket right here, I'll take care of all this when we get done with the video. We just got extra stuff, super glue. Listen, I got a tip for y'all. If you don't have a hook sharpener in your arsenal, you are wrong. You are completely wrong. You need to have a hook sharpener. Sharpen your hooks every now and again, and if you're catching a bunch of fish on one specific lure, just go through and sharpen your hook. The little trick is if you take it to your nail and it won't scratch your nail and kind of make that like powdery, then it's dull. and you're gonna lose some fish, I promise. So put one of these.
I approve this message.
Put one of these in your arsenal. It don't have to be this one. This is just the one I got.
Mine's on my line clipper.
Yeah. So love the sideline bag. Got a little clip right here. It's just a cheap Realtree thing. I hook fish to this. Like if I'm measuring fish and I just want them to still be in the water, I can either do the net trick or I can clip them to this and then they're in the water. You know, oh, almost forgot about my best friend Bubba. So guys, we're not sponsored by these people. We don't have any affiliation with them, but yeah, we're gonna try. Hey Bubba, hit your boy up. These are the best braid scissors I have ever found. I've gone through pretty much every braid scissors out there, and there's nothing worse than getting out and then everybody knows that have braid scissors, they'll be butter, and then just one random trip you go out and then they won't cut through anything. These things are almost a year and a half old, and they still will cut a skirt on every what's the word?
Frog?
No, the skirt. Every
Chatterbait?
no, the long things.
What?
You know what I'm talking about? Anyway.
The long things?
Yeah. What's the
What are we literally
strands? There we go. There's a strand. It'll cut every strand like nothing.
Oh, strands.
What happens is these scissors get dull and it doesn't cut all the strands, and then you're in there and you're like sawing on it. But so yeah, Bubba, thank you for making a really good pair of scissors.
All right, while you're putting that back in there, talk about the little crown thing you got there on top of your cup.
All right, this is a thing from One Objective, I think, too, if I remember correctly. Yep. It's pretty cool. You can hang a bunch of hooks on here and keeps your baits all from entangling, and it's really nice. I have it right here by my seat because when I'm offshore fishing or if I'm throwing, a lot of treble hooks or whatever it may be, or I get a fish that's gut hooked, I just want it nice and quick right there by my side. Doesn't get in my way of catching any fish. Really love these things.
While you're right there, let me come around so we can talk about, as you call it, the cheat stick. And so let's show people how you've got your forward-facing sonar set up, and then obviously we get to do a lot of prototype testing, and so this is one of the original prototypes of Sniper Marine, and we're actually ordering 2 of the updated version right now. But talk to everybody about how you got it set up right now.
So for the cheat stick is I kind of do it different than a lot of people do. Some people, they're either mounting it on the front, they're mounting it in a black pack, or if I'm sure you've seen Gene video where he kind of makes it portable. Mine's still kind of portable, but he puts his inside of an Apache case from Harbor Freight. I kind of did a little different and I like it. So I just throw my active target thing under my seat. One, it lets this thing breathe because inside the hole or inside a black pack, it doesn't breathe as much. It lets that thing breathe. I have, like I showed y'all earlier, the Ethernet cable going through the hole, and then it just goes into here. Got the power cable, which we'll show when you go back around. But I throw that thing down in there and love it.
All right, so real quick before you put that back.
Yeah.
Most people don't know this, but as you've been filming with this over the years,
yep,
you've had the unofficial nickname of Austin Snacks Hoovers.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. So when I'm fishing or filming, you gotta have a lunchbox, man. You gotta have them snacks, man. There's nothing worse than you're out there, they ain't biting, and you gotta go graph or you gotta do something, and you know what the number one thing to do is to eat a snack. I feel like if I eat a snack, I just get an extra bit of confidence back in me, and usually I start catching some fish after. So yeah, I love this thing, love this Yeti little.
What are your top 2 confidence snacks while
confidence
fishing?
Snacks? I'm really loving the First Form, the bars and the protein bars, but if you just want to talk about pure goodness, oatmeal cream pie. And oatmeal cream pie will just put me in a mood that the fish better watch out, I'll just tell you that. So love this thing. I usually take this, and it doesn't have anything in it right now because I haven't replaced it since the last filming session, but throw you some little Yeti ice in there. These things, you'll spend your money on ice before you just buy these. Buy you a couple of these and you'll save some money. I promise.
All right.
Love those. So, but let's
get to the kayak.
Back to the kayak. Got on a little snack ramble. So what I do with all my extra cable is this. You don't have to have the sideline for this. If you just have the standard seat, is I just take all, like I said before, we are kayak fishermen living in a bass boat world, so we always have 50 foot of extra slack, and there's nothing we can do about it. So I just coil this stuff up, and then I slide it behind my seat, and then I'm holding the active target stick or the sniper pole stick with just a standard paddle holder, just a double header. It fits in perfectly. I put these things on here when I'm loading and unloading just to keep it from bouncing off. Love this thing, and then when I go to actually use it and start making fish jump in the boat, I just throw it right there on my thing and get to scoping.
So all this is a Yak Attack 90-degree mount,
Yep.
a 4-inch extension, and a lock and load base. That's all that really
Very
is.
simple. This little collar right here is a prototype from Kayak. Should be coming any minute this day. But yeah, that's the cheat stick. So
Cool. I'm gonna go back around the other side and we'll continue with the Tour de Austin's kayak. I just need to not fall down with this $27,000 camera.
yeah, what do you want to get into next? You want to
talk about how
you want to talk about the sexiest catchboard Catch makes? This is green, so we got that for the tournaments. I'm not allowed. Look, come up here. I'm not allowed to fish the Challenge Series because I'm a judge and I'm the son of the owner. So the man behind the camera won't let me scratch my competitive itch in the Challenge Series, no matter how bad I want to. Y'all let me know in the comments. Tell him to let me fish the Challenge Series. But I scratch my competitive itch with the Catch 22 and stuff. Love that. It's if you haven't, please look into joining the Catch 22. It's for a good cause. We help a lot of veterans and save a lot of lives with it. So yeah, that's how I scratch my competitive itch, is with that one. We're just holding it with two roto grips, and then you got to upgrade
Those are the park and pole.
Yeah, you don't have to, but if you want your thing to be snug like concrete, then upgrade them to the park and pole wheels, and this thing is rock steady. So we're gonna get into the batteries now.
Yeah, let's talk about how you got your power.
All right,
coming from the back.
look right here. See, like I said, I didn't like the track packs. I got 2 more right here on top of my battery pack, so we'll set them right there. But let's get into the batteries. Actually, let's move this seat real quick so I can show some people some stuff. It's not ideal, but I kind of run it through. So we got right here, right? So beautiful thing about the PWR is we got a power link plate. I got one for the XI3. We got the 12 volt 135. This runs through with the fuse and everything. And then I plug it in there. It sends power out to the bow mount. This plug right here is for my house power with the relay. I had to put an extension in because I wanted the relay, you know, the switches up front. I'll show you a little shot of that.
It's from Yak Power, right?
Look, from Yak Power, it's just the 5.1. If y'all are gonna go that route, I would not recommend getting the Bluetooth one. I know it seems nice, I know it seems convenient, but it's gonna go bad, I promise you. We have talked to so many people, and I'm old school. A lot of people don't know I have a background in commercial electrical and all that stuff. So, you know, direct pass are always the best. So, but let's get into the batteries. We got a 12 volt 135 that runs the trolling motor. This is just for the trolling motor, nothing else. Got a fuse right here to keep us safe. We got a 12 volt 54 for you know, the cameras, the graphs, all the miscellaneous, the navigation lights, all the little stuff that's just throughout the boat. Now, I could run my active target module and all that off of the same battery as my house battery. Most people don't run cameras and they don't run all the extra stuff that I run. So I just gave my active target one a dedicated 12 volt 25 amp hour battery for, you know, because I have a lot of stuff, and then we have a, you know, a limited amount of footprint we can work with. So those 3 batteries work the best for what I do. But like I said, you don't have to have all 3 of those batteries because some people aren't running all the cameras and charging phones and doing all that stuff. So you could just have your trolling motor, excuse me, your trolling motor battery and your house battery, and just run everything off of that. But I film and do all that, so had to
don't forget to talk about your little side switch right
here.
Yeah,
so I've got this little port right here. So I plug my active target in right here, but I actually wired that up to a switch. That way I could turn it on and off, and it's not just running all day, and I can conserve power throughout the day. Everything's fused, and you know, got to stay safe out there. You don't want to pull a Drew Gregory and catch your boat on fire. So.
Why you got to do that to Drew?
What? Drew goes.
Why he got to do that to Drew? Drew, on behalf of the Hoover family, I apologize, but anyway.
Drew, you know, Drew can only go so many years with it. First he got attacked by a goose, then he catches a boat on fire. Anyway, he didn't catch the boat on fire. He had a little mishap. Anyway, sorry, Drew. No hard feelings. But move on back.
All right, but hey, before you go any further,
okay, what do you
there's going to be a lot of people that say, why did you put your batteries in a black pack instead of just putting them in like a dry box? So talk a little bit about why you dedicated a black pack to your batteries.
There's a few reasons. Number one reason for me is it puts everything in one spot for when it comes to charging. Number 2 would be it keeps your batteries out of the elements. A lot of people don't realize is your batteries, your lithium batteries, don't need to be in direct sunlight just taking that beating, because one, it, you know, shortens the life of the battery for the day and hurts the battery, you know, life long term. So if you're able to protect it from the elements, whether that be sun, rain, you know, whatever it may be, That's the main reason I did it. Another reason is it allows me to have all these rod holders on the side since I decided to go crazy with my rods on this setup. So it's just nice to have everything in one spot.
So we're not even going to get into the why you have so many rods discussion in this video.
That goes with what I said.
We'll just apply what you said about your
there.
$7,000 worth of grass.
This is all I do. This is, you don't have to have this, you know. There's a saying that a lot of people, like when me and Chad pull up to the ramp.
It's not a saying, it's a fact.
It's
Go ahead
a fact.
and tell them the
All
fact.
right, you ready? I'll say it because he'll say it if I don't say it. You want to know how somebody doesn't know what they're doing is if they got a bunch of rods rigged up. If you find a guy and he's got, look at me, if he's got 2 or 3 rods
hold
on,
I'm panning off of all these rods.
If he's got 2 or 3 rods on his boat, you better watch out because that's a confident man. So I'm
He's dialed.
I'm just compensating here, guys.
He's dialed.
Just compensating.
You know what this means? This means figuring it out.
Figuring it out. Yeah, that's the main reason why I have all these rods is because I like to cycle through patterns quick to dial that in. Once I cycle that pattern in, I ain't but using about 4 of these. I'll just be real with y'all. But it's just how I like to fish. You fish how you want to fish, I'm gonna fish how I want to fish. Speaking of fish, if you're fishing and you ain't got one of these, get you one. Because if you don't have one of these, you're gonna get your heart broke, I promise.
Especially if you're fishing stuff like this that has all the little hooky things on it.
Little hooky things. We'll take the heartbreak out of it and save you the hospital visit. This is the cheapest hospital visit you'll ever have because it'll keep you from going to the hospital. So yeah,
cool.
Nice to have that.
Also over there on your side, you've got your camera pole.
Got the camera pole,
Yak-A-Tack boomstick.
Boomstick, yep. So love that thing.
Do a little cutaway right here to an angle of what that shows for like a hook set or something.
We played all different kinds of angles. That's what these 2 back here for. We were kind of playing with different angles. These really don't do much. They're just there right now because we were playing with different angles and we're always developing products. So those don't really do nothing for, I know somebody will say, what are the 2 on the back for?
Let's not just completely skip over your back black pack. Talk about how you tie your black packs down.
This is where all the juice is, man.
Yeah, and why you've got the short stack and how you got it tied down.
Both these black packs are 13 by 16s. One's long ways and one short ways, so you kind of got to put them in a T to fit them in the hole. Well, this would be the hole. The tank well. Sorry, the hole is the actual boat. It's morning for us, so we're still waking up. But we got 13 by 16 with a short stack on it. Up on top of this thing, this is where I like to call the place or the soft plastic grave because this is where soft plastics go to die and other random stuff. So love the short stack. Just when I thought I couldn't fit any more stuff in my boat, they released the short stack. So thank you, Yak-A-Tack. Inside I got a bunch of tackle.
Good Lord.
You know, back to the compensating thing. So if you got it figured out, you only need a tackle box, but sometimes I ain't got it figured out, so I got to take the whole kitchen sink with me. So, but yeah, that's that. We got the got another little USB like I was telling y'all about for that little miscellaneous USBs. It just powers the cameras. That way everything's in whole. We'll do a separate video on how to do that later and how I recommend making your connections on the back so that you don't end up with problems down the road.
All right, before we go further back, come around here for me.
All right, what you want me to show you?
Talk about how you got your black packs tied down, because it's pretty much how I do mine.
Yeah. All right, so let's run through this. So we got, on your black packs, we got 2 versions. I actually did this on purpose just so like when I'm at the boat ramp or when I'm seeing people, I can show 2 different versions. So one version is you use a grid lock with the vertical tie down, and then you just have another vertical tie down. But if you use the grid lock, it just allows you to put more rod holders on one side. But you don't have to do that. If you're not running as many rods as I am, this comes with the black pack. This is just the little side handles that come with the black pack. They're slotted from the factory, and you just use a vertical tie down too. So yeah, those are the 2 options. I recommend getting rid of your bungee, especially if you've got a heavy as a black pack as me, whether that be tackle or a battery box. Bungee's not going to hold it. I promise you it won't hold it. It'll end up like Chad actually was down the river there earlier this year and he flipped and the bungee didn't hold his boat. So that's when we really started going into, hey, we got to come up with something. But if you flip this boat, let me say that. If you flip this boat, you have done something. You have done something special because I have tried to flip this boat even with it rigged as big as it is and I can't flip it. I'm about 6'1", 6'2", and 190 pounds, so that could change as if you get to be a bigger person like the man behind the camera.
All right, let me say one more thing about these just as a cautionary deal.
Oh, you're going to talk about the...
Don't over-tighten these because you'll pull the panels out and you're actually pulling down into the boat. Yep. And if it's super hot out, you can actually warp your tank well. So leave a little bit of slack in these. on both of them, so that way you're not warping your
Yeah.
hull.
If
And
it
you're
moves
gonna-
a little bit,
yeah.
that's fine. When you flip, it's not going to move so much. It's more of just keeping it in that frame to where, you know, heaven forbid you do flip, you know, it just
And he made all of this disconnect, as you can see, because if you are leaving a boat on the trailer and if you're leaving it out in the sun for prolonged periods of time, you do not want all that weight just sitting in your tank well forever, because it can legitimately warp the tank well. So just keep that in mind. You want it to be secure, but you also want it to where it's not super hard to take it off.
So we're going to go to the back. This is where this boat ends. We got the rudder, we got some through lines. This is actually an extra line. This does not come factory. I ran that because I'll run a torpedo on this sometimes when I'm filming and just shallow water grass fishing. So we'll do a separate video on this too, but this is how it comes from the factory minus this one little port. But we got the power pole in the back. Man, I don't know what I would do without this thing. I really don't.
You fight the wind a lot more.
Fight the wind a lot more. It's just, I love this thing. I don't have to say much about it. Everybody knows what it really does and
Now,
who they are.
talk about what it also does, because you talk about being a bow mount fisherman and you talk about being an offshore fisherman, and a lot of people think of this as the shallow water only anchor. So what does it do for you out deep?
What you can do is you can actually put this down to a certain level, or even just get it toward the tips in just like it is now. Or no, it's actually staked down, but you can put it down in the water just a little bit, and what that will do is actually help with drag. So like with all these rods, like I've got all these rods, it doesn't matter if you've got this many rods, a couple rods, but you know what these rods turn into when the wind starts happening? A sail. This is a wind sail. You'll see a lot of people go, I don't know why my ass end just keeps spinning around while I'm out fishing. Well, it's because you got a sail on the back of your boat. So if you can put this power pole down and you know, kind of slow that drift out, it really helps with not only the shallow water anchoring that we know about, but it actually helps with
It acts like a drift anchor.
A drift anchor.
It's a drift anchor.
But
all right, well, you skipped over it, but talk to him about your modification here, because as a bow mount person,
there's no modification.
you actually, yeah, there is.
No.
You put a different.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So that's called a modification.
Yeah.
Hold
I'll
on.
call it an upgrade.
Tell these young folks that they got to really get back into the English language and learn certain words. So
Yeah. We will. Yeah. We'll call it an upgrade. You call modify. I didn't modify it. I just upgraded.
all right, cool.
We won't worry
Let's
about.
talk about your rudder upgrade.
All right, so the standard rudder that comes with this boat comes with the rudder. It will not, when you have a bow mount on it, it doesn't have the authority because it's not stiff enough to actually turn the boat. I'll cut to a shot of this. I'll show you once it's on the trailer. I upgraded this rudder.
I mean, you can see it right there.
You can kind of see
how much
it.
bigger
Yeah, let's see if I can pick it up.
How much broader it is.
Yep, and then
so that's from Snipe Air.
Snipe Air. They make two different sizes. They make a regular, and it's 15% bigger than the standard Bonafide rudder, and then they make the XL, which is 30% bigger. And not only is it bigger, it's stiffer because it's made out of aluminum. Struggling right now. It's made out of aluminum, so it just.
Y'all want to know why he's struggling?
Yeah.
Because the fishing's
fish,
right
yeah,
there.
I got fishing on my
and he's
mind.
over here talking instead.
Yeah.
So
after this video, I'm gonna go out there and see if I can't catch one. But yeah, it's a lot more rigid, so it gives you a lot more authority. I can actually have this bow mount set on the highest speed and use my foot pedals to turn and almost turn inside my circle. For you bow mounters, you will know what I'm talking about and how beneficial that is. Another thing I love about that rudder is, like we said, I'm an offshore fisherman, love offshore. If I'm offshore and I'm spot locking, you know, most times into the wind, right? But I have a crosswind set, depends on what you're setting up on, how the point or whatever you're setting up on, how the relation is to everything. You can actually take your rudder and offset the wind with the rudder, and it'll actually help your spot lock. One, it'll let the motor not run as much, as high, as frequent, so you can be as quiet as possible. So yeah, that's a little tip, is offset your rudder when you're offshore, and it'll help your spot lock out a bunch. But that's really it, man. If y'all got any questions on specific things, we're gonna do some walkthroughs on, like, you know, the wiring up front, how I did that, how I got the wiring through the boat, and you know, all to the
we're pretty much going to do breakdowns of everything.
all the little
black
stuff,
pack
the
setup,
little nuances
the
of
wiring, the steering, the motor deploy and lift.
Exactly, but
all of the things that you do. Some of them the same as Gene, some of them different.
Yeah.
And we'll do all of those as individual videos. Man, I think
Anything else, y'all?
I think that's going to do it.
Any questions you have?
Oh, I've got a question for you.
Okay.
I'm going to put you on the spot.
Go ahead.
Will you put together like an inventory in the description box with a grand total of how much all this crap costs.
Rods and
because you know it's going to be one of the top questions.
Yeah, and it's probably one of the most expensive boats on the market. I know that, but like I've said already, this is all I do, so this is where I put all my money into, and I'm very blessed to work in the industry, so it's just all I do. I will do that for y'all, just so that people have a price and a, you know, an idea. I'm kind of scared to do it and see this may reflect my bank account. While my bank,
there's a little big fish just blew up right over your shoulder.
Once I do this, I may know why my bank account looks the way it does. But yeah, I'll do it for y'all.
So wait, you've never added it up?
I've never added it up.
All right, so we'll get a grand total on this thing.
I'm kind of scared too. But
we might even put it in the thumbnail. Yeah. But
y'all drop in the comments right now. What do y'all think? Just
actually,
shoot from the hip.
Put your guesses
the
before
closest
you go
one.
look.
Yeah. What are we gonna give the closest person?
I'll tell you what we'll do. We'll give away a $100 American Legacy gift certificate for everybody that's close.
Okay.
And then we'll give away 2 of the Bonafide sideline bags.
That seems fair. Yeah.
So how do you want them to do it? Do they need to put the dollar
$1
value?
and cent amount.
$1 and cent amount.
No tax. This is just this, we won't do the tax. All
right.
We're just gonna do flat
Sounds
rate
good.
and flat rate on what, you know, what would that be, MSRP minus the tax. So we'll just do that. The closest one, I will. We're gonna include the rods, or we'll just
everything, the whole boat.
Oh, no.
As it floats.
We can't have the rods in
everything,
there.
bro.
Okay, all right, as it floats, guys. But yeah,
all right.
I think that's gonna do it for us.
Great job, buddy. Actually, one more thing before we go.
One more.
The most important thing that we didn't talk about. You got your hands on it right now.
Oh,
talk about. You wear a different PFD than I do.
I wear a different PFD for a couple reasons. I like to run the chesty, and I don't like the other mounts. That's the main reason. I will be honest with myself. It's the main reason I wear an inflatable more than just your standard PFD. But yeah, show y'all how I do everything. So I've got one remote that, you know, controls this power pole right here, and then I got one remote that controls the bow mount. Everything is attached with, I'll just open this up, with these Rogue micro leashes. Man, I love these things. They make a couple different versions. This is the one that's got the little tether on it and the little clip, so if you want to take it off you can, but they make some with O-rings. But Rogue makes these, what are these called, the Titan micro leashes? Micro leashes. Love these things, man. They not only hold, you know, got to have the whistle to be safe, but they don't see that. It's a little bit different one right there that's got a O-ring, different styles for different.
That's not an O-ring, that's a
split ring. Split ring, sorry.
Big split ring.
Split ring. I'm still waking up this morning. This morning for us, we woke up and running on about 2 hours of sleep. So, but yeah, but come up here. I'm gonna show y'all some more stuff about these micro leashes.
There's more?
There's more, just for the micro leashes, just to go on this point.
Gotcha.
So these aren't cheap. So I use these micro leashes throughout my boat everywhere. I got one on my pliers and one on my scissors. Y'all may have saw it earlier, but yeah. So
that if there is a knock on Bubba, if you want to call it that, the one thing about them is none of the pliers, not just Bubba, none of them come with a really good
nobody
leash.
Really in the industry comes with a good leash that doesn't so this thing will stretch, but then we'll find its memory back. A lot of leashes you'll find, they'll stretch completely out and they stay limp like that, and then it kind of defeats the whole purpose of it, because then you end up with a bunch of slack. So really love these. That's really it, man. I don't know what else.
So I'll tell you how to remember the leashes. You can use them to leash it, but if you say it fast, it sounds like you're saying leash shit. So just remember, leash it with the leash it. Yeah. Leash it. Leash it with the Rogue.
See, he's still waking up
lease
too.
it.
Yeah, he's still waking up.
It's not wake. It's just a tongue twister. Yeah. Use that to lease it. All right.
That's really
parting words, and take us out of the video, homie.
And that's really it. I just appreciate y'all watching. Y'all get in the comments. Y'all let me know kind of if you got any questions on like the specific wiring I did, whether that be like, see like this little handle right here. This is actually for my release cable.
Well, we said we're gonna do that in another video.
But I'm just saying, y'all let me know if there's some specific stuff. That way we can kind of make videos based off of what y'all want to know. But that's really it, man. That's all I got.
All right, so what I'm trying to do is talk him into doing the whole like, all right guys, thanks for watching. See y'all, the whole YouTube. Do the YouTube thing, man.
That's your job.
Do the.
Just watch this. Here, let's do this right here.
All right, guys. Thanks for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed this walkthrough. I know a ton of you are going to jump on the it's too much train, and for the most part, I kind of agree with you. So thanks for watching. Y'all be sure to leave a comment about things that you want a more in-depth look at, and we'll see you guys in the next video.